Yeah, right, like a big shot. Well, everyone hears stories about how truck drivers make a lot of money, this and that, but nobody really tells about the story or what these guys have to go through to make that money. Now, today I'm going to share with you a couple of facts that nobody talks about when it comes to truck driving. So stick around. Now, at the top, I'm going to talk about loneliness. Now, if you've never been a truck driver, you'll never get to know how lonely actually a truck driver can get. Okay, so if I break this down, first and foremost, I'll take myself as an example. I am a solo driver. I used to do teams. That means I had someone in the truck to drive around with, someone you can talk to. But even those conversations, they're very minimal. Like when you change your shift, you have a simple conversation in a little bit, hey, blah blah blah, and then because he has to start driving, you need to have a meal, you need to sleep because after his 10-hour shift, then you need to start driving again, okay? And you don't want to be seated in the passenger seat for 2 or 3 hours while he's driving. You need to rest. You've been driving for 10 hours, so you don't really have a lot to talk about. Like it's a short conversation. Now, when it comes to the solo driver like me, you know what it means. After my shift, I get ready for bed, go have a shower if I at the truck stop, have a meal, check my phone a little bit, and then I have to sleep because I have to get ready for my 10-hour break. And then after that, I need to drive again because I'm having a load that has to be somewhere at a given, time. It's, on time you have to be there. So when you do that 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, it gets lonely. You're just by yourself. Example, for me, I'm on the road for a month. I used to do 3 weeks and then I'm home 3 days. Now I do a month. So imagine a month, you're having the same routine every day. All right. That is really going to bite. So you're really going to be lonely. Now, sleeping alone. Of course, some people may think, that's not an issue, but imagine being when maybe you have a partner, but you have to be away from them for a month. So you sleep by yourself the whole time, every day. Now, if you're not used to that, it can be heavy for you to sleep by yourself for the most time of your life. So if you're at home 5 days every after a month, so 5 days times 12, that's how much time you'll sleep close to your partner if you have a partner with you. The rest of the time you're sleeping by yourself. So you're going to be sleeping alone in the truck. So that is something that is not easy, to have in your life. Then social life. Every time when I check my social media, I check my Snapchat, I check all those apps, I see my friends, I see people out there, they're out, they're having fun. It's Friday, people are going out. It's Saturday, people are going to their favorite bars, they're hanging out with friends. Well, you out here on the road, you're maybe parked at the truck stop and you're waiting for your 34-hour reset to get done, or you're waiting for your 10-hour reset to get done so you can get back on the road. So at some point, someone will tell you that all that fun and everything is not what life is about, but you need to have some fun. It's life is short and you need to enjoy it. So yeah, I mean, you don't really have a social life in the way that you're just in the truck. Today you're in California, the next day you're in Colorado, the other day in New York. You can have people, in all those towns that, hey, I just pulled up. Can I come hang out with you guys? I'm doing my 34-hour reset. Yeah, you can have 2-3 states where you can do that. But also that means the load has to be heading towards that same area. Then you can do that. Other than that, you're going to be somewhere like you don't know anyone. You're just going to be in your truck, you do your 34-hour or do your 10-hour reset and then get back on the road. So even when you go back home for your days at home, example, sometimes I have my days at home in the middle of the week. You get back home on a Monday, you have 4 days at home. Maybe your friends are working. You're not going to be like, hey, let's go out today. It's a Tuesday. Hey, the person has work tomorrow. You can't ask them to go out. Still, you're just going to be at home. You can't do anything. So you have a social life, but non-social life in the way that you understand that you have people go hang out at your friend's place and all that. So that is something that most people don't know about truck drivers, is that we don't really have that much of a social life like the rest of the profession. So that's something to think about. So technically you can go like for days without having a real conversation with someone, apart from maybe calling your family or something. But talking to someone, and then you guys talk, just have a conversation seated side by side, you can go days, months without having that conversation. Now, another point is the mental and physical exhaustion. So imagine you drive that truck for 10 hours, take a 10-hour break, come back, drive again. Concentration, you have to concentrate a lot on the road, because it's a big truck. If you make a mistake, if you sleep, microdose, you know how it's gonna go. It's not gonna go so well. So it's really, really, really an experience that, unless you're a truck driver, you will never really understand. And then when you take your 10-hour break, get off your 10-hour break, then drive again, your sleep pattern is never the same. You can't say that I always sleep. That is if you're a solo driver like me. You can't say I always sleep between 6 p.m. and whatever, because it's only 10 hours. You can only sleep from 6 p.m. to 6 the next day. That's so many hours. After a 10-hour break, you need to wake up and get going, because the load is probably going to be there, supposed to be there at a certain time. You can't sleep as much as you want. So your sleep is kind of like twisted. Some days I sleep during the day, some days I sleep at night, depending on how the load is. And when my 10-hour break is done, I always try drive after my 10 hours is done. But you can never know, depending on when you get the load and you start driving. So even like sometimes, like when you rest, you're not really rested. You get it? So I actually have magnesium. It's good, when you sleep. I have to take some magnesium to help me, like to feel rested and everything. Otherwise, you're gonna be tired the whole time. So you really have like irregular sleep. You don't have like. But when you do teams, it's different, because when I was doing teams, I always drove from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. So from 3 p.m. 4-ish, 5, I would sleep until like 2 in the night. So it was more regular sleep. But if you're doing solo, I would tell you I don't have regular sleep. So that's the downside about being a solo driver when it comes to sleep. Now, when it comes to teams, it's also crazy, because the teams, so imagine someone is driving and you're sleeping. All right. Now, I won't say this about American roads, but American freeways, they're not the best if I'm to compare them to Swedish freeways. Some states, the freeways are bumpy. So at the back of that, imagine you're sleeping and someone is going, you're gonna sleep, but you're not really gonna sleep, like so well that you're well rested. Because if it hits a bump, you're gonna wake up, then you try to sleep again, then it breaks so hard, then you wake up again. You get all those things, you can't really sleep. I remember there's a time we were going to, I think it was Georgia. So we were heading to Georgia to pick up a load, and for some reason the freeway, that section of the freeway, it was under construction. I think probably they had a signpost or something, because I had to wake up and actually just sit. It was like the road is going to be bumpy, blah blah blah, for a couple of miles. Like the truck was just, you can't sleep for that time. So even with the teams, you need to be really good at sleeping when someone is driving. Other than that, it's still also kind of like hard to get good sleep. It's going to be irregular, yeah. Now another point is the money. The money isn't exactly what people think it is. Now, partly because when it comes to new drivers, now when you're a new driver, when it comes to trucking, the money you get as a newbie is not the same as maybe with experience, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years. Now, I'm going to talk about when you're just starting out, 1 year, 2 months, 3 months, it's your first day at work. Those first months, you're gonna feel like, are you sure? This is actually what it is being a truck driver, being away from family and doing all this to get this money for a week or a month or whatever you're paid. Okay, so then the expenses. That's why I have a video talking about how much I spent a week. I came up with that because I wanted to cut down on costs, because you're getting the money, it's not that much, but then you also have expenses. You have probably rent, you have a car, you're paying on loan, you have mortgage, you have all these things, and you have to take out these things from the payment you have. Okay, now if you're a new person when it comes to tracking, now that money is not that much. Okay, so you need to work around it. So when people outside see you get your CDL and they see you post, you have your first truck, first load and everything, they don't see the first load. No, they are seeing a truck full of money moving around. Probably, when they see you come back around from the road, they see money moving. No, but that's not the case. No, you haven't really started making any good money. Okay, and people will never understand that. Like when someone is just starting with trucking, they don't have a lot of money. They don't get that much. They get some good money, but it's not crazy money. I don't even know what crazy money is, but you know what I'm saying. It's not that much. So, literally, what I can say is that you're actually trading your time, your health, for that paycheck. But that paycheck is not that so much, that you can brag around that, hey, I'm getting, my money's worth. Okay, so yeah. Now, another point that I want to talk about is the missing life moments. That is birthdays, holidays, relationships suffer. I would tell you that I wanted to do teams with a guy, and because teams, they always tell you to talk to the person you want to work with, agree on a few things. How long you want to be out on the road? Are you a smoker? Do you have pets? You want to go with your dog? All these things. And this guy, when I was talking to him, I was like, okay, how long you want to be out? Because I'm doing a month as a solo, but I want to go back to teams. But how long you want to be out? And he said 2 weeks. And I said, okay, I would prefer 3 weeks. I feel like 2 weeks is too short, to be out. You know what he told me? He said, I can't be out for 3 weeks. I was like, why? He was like, because my wife won't let me be out for 3 weeks. She wants me to do 2 weeks and then I'm home. I was like, okay. Now, you see, his wife doesn't want him to be out for so long. Now, that was an issue for him. He can't work beyond 2 weeks. He has to work 2 weeks, home, 2 weeks, like that. Now, for me, I wanted 3 weeks. Now, that was a problem, okay? But now, the thing is, if you're out for long, like I was doing a month, 3 weeks, you're going to miss birthdays. You're going to miss holidays, okay? Like 4th of July, Christmas could be all the way on the East Coast. You're not going to be with your family. Your child's birthday, you're going to miss it. All these important events, you're going to miss them. So now that is something whereby someone who's not a truck driver won't even understand that, hey, look, well, when you look at me, you think I'm doing good, I'm earning money, I have a job and everything, but I miss so many things in life, okay, that probably matter to me a lot. But no one will understand that. No one will even think about it and be like, oh man, those guys who do trucks, they miss their kids' birthday, they miss their wives' birthdays, they miss their sisters or brothers' birthdays, holidays like Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, all these holidays, they can have them like anywhere in a different state. They don't even get to celebrate. Like 4th of July, everyone wants to be there, which event is that in October? When you wear masks and everything, I forgot, it's off my head, but yeah, you'd never celebrate all these events because you're out there, hustling. So, I mean, that is something that I feel like when you're a truck driver, like life keeps moving, even when you're not there. Like all these events will go on, despite the fact that you're not there. They will keep going. Nothing is gonna stop. So it feels like you're in a different world, and the people you care about all know you're in a completely different world. Now, that is something that people never really probably think or doesn't cross their mind when it comes to truck drivers. Now, the last point is about safety risks. Now, when you're a truck driver, you have all these small cars around cutting across you, left, right, center, and one mistake, everyone is going to point the finger at you, but no one points the finger to these guys that are, crisscrossing you. So you have to be really careful, and more so like when it comes to the winter season, ice. Driving on the ice, that is something where you have to be very careful, because one slight mistake, the truck is gone. It's going to turn over, have an accident. Now, let me tell you, when you drive through Wyoming, some parts of New Mexico, you literally have to hold the steering with both arms. Like, do you know why? Because of the winds. They're very heavy winds that in Wyoming at some point they tell you, truck drivers, just park the trucks, don't drive. You know why? Because that wind can blow that semi-trailer and flips it. Okay, so you're gonna drive through the harshest weathers, the heavy winds, the winter minus the summer. Of course, that one's beautiful, but winters, heavy winds, fog. I remember I was driving through, it was still Georgia, and one section it was raining. No, it wasn't. One section was so rainy, the other section had fog, whereby you could barely see what was ahead of you, and this was at night. Okay, so imagine you're driving at night, the place is foggy. You're driving at night, it's raining so heavily that you barely see where you're going. But you need to keep your cool and your attention throughout, for the truck to get where you're going. Now, all this happens when you're a truck driver, but even sometimes I haven't got the opportunity to park in an unsafe position, because also parking lot, because I always plan my trips, and I try to do it at the major fuel stations, Pilot, Love. I've never really ended up in a place where I'm like, okay, what's going to happen to me tonight, unsafe. But some drivers are unlucky. Probably you run out of your drive time, you didn't do good trip planning, you end up somewhere in an unsafe parking lot, and you never know what could happen. They think you have money on you, cash, and they're trying to break in, to take the money. So I mean, those are all the things that happen, and one mistake and everything is gone. So the thing is, most people really want to join trucking, but nobody really gets to understand what happens or is going to happen while you're a truck driver. Okay, and that's why after some time most people actually quit and they stop truck driving, partly because of the the facts that I put across. But I mean, if you can do your best and overcome all these obstacles, trucking is one industry that is really nice. I love it. I love being a truck driver. I've done it for a couple of years right now, still going. I love it. But anyway, I hope you watched until the end. So leave a comment, a like, share, and I'm gonna be making another video probably next week. So make sure you check it out, and don't forget to check out the rest of my videos on the channel, and don't forget to ride like a big shot.